In order to practice lab safety, you must wear closed-toed shoes, long pants, and goggles at all times throughout the lab. In this exercise, you will prepare a series of sugar solutions in order to practice dilutions. You will be supplied with a 20% stock solution in a 25 ml volumetric flask. Solutions with a concentration less than 20% can be prepared by diluting the stock solution. First, tare the balance and measure the mass of the flask alone. In our case, it was 19.528 grams. After transferring the solution from the stock container into another vessel for pipetting, in our case into a beaker, use a Moore pipette to draw out the solution from the beaker but not into the bowl. Then read the meniscus at eye level. The volume measured in the pipette before being transferred into the flask was 2.59 milliliters. A certain amount of solution was then released into the volumetric flask, but the pipette was not completely emptied. The volume in the pipette after transfer was measured to be 0.25 milliliters. The solution was then diluted by adding water into the volumetric flask using a pipette. Enough water was added to fill up the volumetric flask to the 25 milliliter mark. We then measured the mass of the flask and the solution, which was 44.503 grams. This procedure was repeated 2 more times in order to get 3 sets of data that was needed for this lab. Now for the definition of a meniscus.
A meniscus is a curve at the surface of a liquid in a container. It occurs due to surface tension, in this case because the molecules of the liquid are more strongly attached to the container than to each other. Because of the meniscus, to get an accurate reading of the volume of the liquid, you must read the measurement at eye level and from the bottom of the meniscus.
After completing all your necessary data, it is time to do some calculations. After recording the initial volumes and the final volumes, we were able to find the final concentrations. For example, in our first trial, the initial volume was found by subtracting 0.25 milliliters from 2.59 milliliters, giving us 2.34 milliliters. By using the equation Ci times Vi equals Cf times Vf, we found the final concentration after diluting the stock solution to be 1.87%. Similar calculations were used for the data in the second 2 rounds.
When you're finished with your lab, make sure to clean all of your instruments that were used and put them away. Also, make sure to wipe down and clean your lab site.